18 years old, Australian, and right now the most talked about sprinter on the planet. He crossed a finish line in Sydney and the whole world started arguing about whether what it just watched was real. The doubters came out fast, the critics were loud. Then World Athletics made it official. April 12, 2026, Sydney Olympic Park Athletics Centre, the final day of the Australian Athletics Championships. Gout Gout had written one number in his notes before walking out for the 200-meter final: 19.75 seconds. That was the target. That was what he had been telling himself all week. He walked to his blocks believing in that number. What happened next made 19.75 look ordinary. When the gun fired, Gout took the curve with the fluidity that makes coaches stop breathing. He was not fastest out of the blocks. He never is. His strength lives in the back half, in the mid-race speed endurance that lets him build while others fade. Down the straight, he found another gear. The clock kept moving. He crossed the line in 19.67 seconds with a wind reading of plus 1.7 meters per second. Right before this final, I wrote in my notes, I said I'm running 19.75. Gout said on the track afterward, and obviously 19.67, you've got to love it. His previous personal best, wind legal and ratified, was 20.02 seconds. He had just improved that by 35 hundredths in a single race. He became the first Australian man ever to run under 20 seconds. Runner-up Aidan Murphy also went under 20 seconds, finishing in 19.88. The top 7 finishers in that race all set personal bests. Every single one of them. Almost immediately after the result went public, people started asking questions. Analysts pointed to the same thing repeatedly. When 7 of 8 athletes in a race all set personal bests by large margins, it is fair to ask what made it possible. The meet was held on a newly laid Sydney track that several observers described as exceptionally fast, though it met every World Athletics specification. Reporters described the wind on race day as a swirling diagonal breeze that gave the 200-meter runners a strong push off the bend. Some analysts argued the full benefit of the wind may have been greater than the official reading showed. None of those arguments changed what the instrument recorded: plus 1.7 meters per second, inside the legal limit of plus 2.0. To understand what Gout Gout did in Sydney, you need to know whose name was in the record books before his. Erriyon Knighton is an American sprinter who had held the official world under-20 200-meter record since June 6, 2022. Knighton had actually run 19.49 earlier that same year in Baton Rouge, which would have been faster than Gout's Sydney time. But that mark was never ratified as a world under-20 record because specific anti-doping testing requirements were not met at the time. Gout Gout took 0.02 of a second off that record, 19.67. The new number in the books, and when you go further back, the picture gets bigger. Usain Bolt, world record holder and the most decorated sprinter in history, ran his best time as an athlete under 20 years old in 2004. That time was 19.93 seconds. Gout Gout is 26 hundredths faster than the greatest sprinter who ever lived was at the same age. Bolt himself noticed. After Gout's Sydney performance, Bolt told CNN Sports he hoped the 18-year-old finds the right people around him. He's a massive young talent, Bolt said. Every time you step on that track, everybody's going to always be looking for a fast time. Hopefully he has the right people to help him understand that not every day is going to be a great day. The man who broke every record in the book looked at a teenager in Australia and saw something worth addressing directly. Then World Athletics ended it. The governing body of global athletics officially ratified Gout Gout's 19.67 as the world under-20 record in the 200 meters. The ratification, published alongside 5 other newly confirmed world marks, listed his time alongside the date, location, and wind reading. 19.67, Sydney, plus 1.7, official, permanent, in the books. For the doubters who pointed to the wind, World Athletics had the answer. For the ones who pointed to the fast track, World Athletics had the answer. For every argument anyone raised, the process produced the same result. The record stands. Gout's coach, Dee Shepherd, the woman who has worked with him since he was 12 years old, and spotted him running with friends on a school oval, has always been deliberate about how she develops him. She is cautious. She manages his workload. She knows exactly how much he still has left to give. He's a kid, she has said. He only really hit puberty in the last 12 to 18 months, basically. She has been direct about the ceiling she sees. If I tried to make him super quick now, I'd break him. What she is describing is an athlete who broke the world under 20 200-meter record while still being a long way from his best. Before Gout Gout goes to Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon for the World Under 20 Championships in August, he has a different appointment in Czechia. On June 16th at the Ostrava Golden Spike, Gout Gout will race Olympic champion Noah Lyles for the first time. The event is 150 meters, a non-standard distance that does not appear at the Olympics, but one that every sprint fan in the world is suddenly very interested in. This is familiar ground for Gout. At the 2025 Ostrava Golden Spike, he won the 200 meters in 20.02, his personal best at the time. He returns as the world under 20 record holder to race the most decorated active sprinter alive. Lyles holds 8 world titles. 4 are consecutive world championship wins in the 200 meters. He won Olympic gold in the 100 meters in Paris in 2024. He has never competed at Ostrava before. He has said he expects the race to be fast and that he has never run 150 meters on a curve, which makes the whole thing even more unpredictable. The two trained together in the United States in the weeks before Ostrava. Lyles spoke about Gout with clear admiration. The most decorated sprinter in the world has watched this teenager closely enough to choose to race him directly. That is the real signal. After Ostrava, Gout heads to Hayward Field in Eugene for the World Under 20 Championships from August 5th to 9th. He won 200-meter silver in Lima in 2024. He goes back as the world record holder in the event. There is a blueprint that precedes him. Usain Bolt won junior 200-meter gold in 2002 before breaking world records. That junior world title was the foundation. Gout knows the blueprint. He is following it with the patience his coach has built into him from the start. On April 12th at Sydney Olympic Park, Gout crossed the finish line in 19.67 seconds. The record is now the world under 20 200-meter record, official and permanent. 2600ths faster than Bolt ever ran as a teenager, Gout Gout is 18 years old. His coach says he is still developing. June 16th in Ostrava is the next test. After that comes Brisbane in 2032. The record is not the ceiling. The woman who has coached him since he was 12 says they have not found the ceiling yet.